This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Last time on Delightful Travelers, we said goodbye to the beautiful country of Korea. Though our time here was short, we already know we'll be coming back again. In this video, we've made our way to Japan. This country is at the top of our travel list, but let's see if it lives up to the hype.
I'm Trevor, and this is Anna. In this series, we're checking a bucket list item off our travel list, visiting Japan. Make sure to hit subscribe and click the like button so you don't miss a single video. A huge thanks to our channel members and patrons for making these videos possible. Welcome to Japan.
I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now.
Welcome to Japan, everyone. I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. How long do we want to come to this country
For years and years and years. We are in Osaka. This, believe it or not, is our 50th country. We've been counting this down for years, literally years. We're finally at our 50th country. And yes, it doesn't get old. We still get super excited to come to a new country that we've been dreaming about for years. We are starting things off down by a beautiful river. What a gorgeous walking area. I bet you when you pictured Osaka in your mind, this is probably not what comes to mind. You probably think of like bright lights and billboards and things like that when you think of Japan, but there's beautiful stuff like this as well.
The area we're in right now is very calm, it's very tranquil, it's surrounded by these beautiful office buildings as well. Now, I imagine later in the video, it's gonna get a little more hectic. It could be a bit more chaotic. It's our first day here, feet on the ground. We want it to start slow. If you guys are excited, make sure to hit the like button because we got a lot of Japan and Osaka to see.
So if you're wondering what our plan is going to be and what to expect in the next few videos, we are in Japan for about 10 days, a little bit less. Unfortunately, just not enough time for us. Those of you that follow us know we like to do more slow travel, but here in Japan, it's quite expensive. We were just in Korea as well, which is also really expensive, and we can't spend a huge amount of time in really expensive places since we travel full time. But we're gonna spend some time here in Osaka, then we're gonna go to Tokyo, and in the middle we might try to do a day trip, but no promises there. We'll see how much time we have.
Well, 'tis the season of cherry blossoms. How pretty, huh?
Yeah, if you're wondering when we're here, it is the springtime, basically the beginning of April. It's full-on bloom season, so perfect time to come to Japan. It's so beautiful. I keep saying that. It's beautiful here. It's gorgeous. I'm gonna gush a lot. I gush a lot in these videos, and today definitely applies to that as well.
This place is just so tranquil. It's hard to believe this is in the middle of the city. This beautiful green space. There's lots of people around. You don't really hear the background city traffic, so if this is how things are gonna go here in Japan, I think we're gonna like it, because I know there's some busy streets and chaos around, but then if you can easily escape like this to some nature and some peace, we're all about it. Well, look what we found. We heard about these things.
Yeah, one thing you have to know about Japan is that there are vending machines literally everywhere, and you can get almost anything out of a vending machine. This one is drinks, but I think you can get like food and a whole bunch of different things in various types of vending machines.
We do want to get something right now, so let's see if we can figure this out, shall we?
So if I understand from what I've read and then seen, is that you can get like coffees, obviously, but like hot and cold coffees, and I know these ones say cold. These ones don't say anything, so I wonder if these might be hot.
I mean, we obviously can't read Japanese, so we have no idea. And it's going to be a bit of a surprise today.
I know people always tell us to make sure to use Google Translate. It works semi-okay, but not perfect, so we're just going to make a guess today.
All right, we'll take 1,000 here because that's what it looks like it takes.
Hopefully this works.
Now let's pick our coffee. We want no sugar. I think it was it this one?
I think it was these three right here.
Okay, so, easy enough. There's no way that can be hot, right?
Cold.
It's cold. Okay, well, we will get one at another time. Oh, how do we get our money back? Oh, there we go. It's gonna take a while to figure all this out.
Yeah.
And by money back, I mean change. We have a lot to figure out around here.
We're looking for a refund, but it is like a beautiful day today. Sunny. I think it's about 20 degrees, so I'm not at all sad to have a cold coffee. It just seems like a novelty to get a hot coffee out of a machine.
We do need some caffeine because we are a little tired today.
Let's see if we pick the right one. No sugar?
No sugar. Hopefully it's no sugar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
is it good?
Right. It's okay.
Just okay. Is it instant coffee in a can, do you think?
I don't think so. It's not bad coffee at all.
It is such a beautiful walk down here, huh? Look at this, there's a boat in the background.
Yeah, I was just saying off camera, I wonder if you can do actual river tours, but clearly you can.
Yeah, you can definitely do river tours. That might be something we look into, but still cherry blossoms everywhere behind you.
Literally everywhere.
There is one thing we're going to have to do though, and we need to do it soon because it's our first day here.
Right, first day. First day, you guys know when we get to a new country, we usually try to learn at least a couple of words.
Yeah.
We probably already know these ones, but I think we just need a refresher.
Well, I don't know any Japanese, you do?
I think I know thank you.
We might know thank you, but we need to go to our phones now. Before we try to learn some Japanese, we just wanted to say a huge thanks to Squarespace for once again sponsoring this week's video.
You guys likely already know that we entirely use Squarespace to build our clients' websites. However, they make it super easy to actually build your own website.
They have dozens of templates that you can easily customize, and of course they are mobile friendly. Every template design supports all major content types, including pages, galleries, blogs, commerce, calendars, and more.
One thing you might not know about Squarespace is that you can create your own members area. You'll be able to create a new revenue stream for your business and free up time in your schedule by selling access to gated content such as videos, online courses, or newsletters.
Are you ready to build your own website? Head to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/delightfultravelers to save 10% off your first website or domain.
And of course, a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video and supporting creators like us.
All right, we got the phone out here, and we're going to try the simple word hello. We'll start there.
Yeah, we're on Google Translate,
Google
which
Translate.
isn't always the most reliable.
It is not, so let's try it out.
こんにちは。
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, I think I knew. It
I think I
definitely
knew
sounds
that.
familiar.
Some of these
Konnichiwa.
easy, simple Japanese phrases sound familiar, but
Yeah.
konnichiwa I definitely knew. Now we'll try, we probably should learn how to say like goodbye,
Bye.
maybe goodbye.
さようなら。
Oh, it's
Sayonara.
like sayonara.
It sounds so serious when Google Translate says it. Sayonara. No, I knew that one too. Sayonara.
Yeah. I don't think I realized
why do we know that
was
one?
Japanese.
Probably from like Japanese cartoons and just like movies we've probably seen.
Yeah.
Last one we should learn. Thank you. I think we know this one, but I don't know if I know how to properly like say it.
ありがとう。
Arigato.
But so the funny thing is, I think, and you guys are probably gonna leave a comment now. That's like the very like not improper, but casual way of saying it. There's another word that you
Yeah.
add on to the ending to be in the proper way. I'll have to look that up later
if we
because I think it's the polite way to say.
If
thank
we
you.
figure it out, we'll chime in before the end of this video. If not, just let us know in the comments, because we definitely hear people say arigato something and their voice goes higher. So I think it's a polite way to say it. All right, next up we are on our way to this beautiful castle that's straight ahead of us. Look at that thing.
Yeah, so that is the Osaka Castle. Probably one of the most touristy things you could possibly do in the city, but yeah, we're gonna go. So I got a couple facts for you about this castle. It actually dates back to 1583. However, it's been destroyed a couple of times. Once was by an attack, and another time it got hit by lightning. So this actual building that you see here was built in 1931.
The other thing about this place is it's surrounded by a moat with actual water in the moat. And I say that because we've been to a lot of different places, especially castles around Europe. Usually there's no water in the moat. This might be the first time we've seen water in the moat at a castle location, but man, I am so glad we're seeing this on our very first day. I told you guys we just came out literally a couple hours ago and we're seeing this, and it's exactly what we were hoping to see. It's such an iconic structure, especially when we think of Japan. One thing to point out though, guys, look at the size of this line. It goes all the way down to the castle. That's big.
Yeah, I think it's huge lines. But I think there are a couple of options if you're coming and wanting to go inside. One is waiting in line. I think that's to go into the castle. I think there also might be a park that's a little less expensive to go into. But what we did is went to, I believe, the gardens. It's beautiful. You have a view from below of the castle. There's lots of cherry trees, and unless we missed something, it was free.
There are so many people here. It's absolutely nice to see this. Japan must be so happy because recently they just kind of opened back up.
Yeah, I think
Right?
somewhat recent. I feel like they're one of the last countries that kind of fully reopened. So I wanted to go through the process a little bit. So this is spring of 2023 as we came in, what the process is like. Hopefully, I mean, if you're watching this months or years down the road, obviously this presumably won't apply. You have to go to a certain website, I will link that below, where you fill out a bunch of forms. One of them is your vaccinations. You need 3 of them at the moment to get in.
Three of them to get in. So I just want to point out, I'll be the color and commentary here. You need 3 to get in. This is the first time we've been to a country where they actually asked for 3, and this is now kind of like 3 years later, so it's a
Yeah.
little bit of a shocker after being in a lot of countries, but it's okay.
Yeah, and I think there is an option to do a test if you don't have those 3, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
You have to look that up yourself. We as Canadians do not need a visa, so we just really had to apply for that. So we sent in our vaccinations, and then within hours, I think we got a thing back saying you are approved. So you print that off, basically, or save that, and then you have 2 other forms to fill out. One is an immigration, one is customs, and you get a QR code. And you
So
can do that all online.
I think the big thing to know if you're planning to come to Japan, and you should have a lot of patience. If you've been traveling within the last year and a half and you're probably thinking things are normal, if you come here, there's many extra steps that you might not be used to, and it's going to be a bit of a flashback.
So I would fill that form out early, would be my
Fill it out
advice.
early. As you can see, it's worth it.
So now let's talk about the actual arrival process. And I want to say this beforehand. We have been through a lot of airports, a lot of international airports in our years. So we've been through a lot of different immigrations through our time of traveling. This one was maybe one of the most intense and elaborate we've been through. So basically you get off the plane, you get in a lineup, and they checked first for that vaccination form that I already talked about. Then you get in another huge lineup for immigration. Thankfully that went really fast, but it took a while, and you had to, when you got up there, do all your scanning and all that stuff. That's totally normal. Show them your immigration QR code, get through there, get your luggage, then get in another lineup where you do your customs. And there you don't just show them something, you actually go to a machine, scan your passport, scan your QR code, head out of there, head to another lineup where you kind of walk through. I didn't really know what they were doing, but they scan you another time, and then you just walk through, and you're finally through.
And then you're thinking, all right, I'm through. Let's find these Japanese bullet trains or Japanese metro systems and just get straight to the city here in Osaka. Well, hold on a second. If you're a tourist coming in for the very first time, there's lots to learn. It's actually not that straightforward. For one, they name the rail lines after the company name. So like JR is one, and we didn't know what those mean. Like to a tourist coming in, we're like, what's JR? Does that take us to the city? Does the other one take us to the city? So we had a lot to figure out there. The other thing was there was massive lines to get on these subway metro systems to get into the city. So we were really confused. Of course, you might say, why not just suck it up and get a taxi? Well, that's $150 to get a taxi into the city. So we're not doing that. We did finally figure it out. It just took a lot of extra steps. So just know that there's not English everywhere. That's expected. But you think sometimes being Japan, there might be a little more English, especially at the airports when you arrive. So not trying to complain. We're just trying to tell you guys right away. It was actually a bit of a challenge when we got off the airplane to get all the way to the city. So the moral of the story is this. Don't let all that get you down. Yes, it can be frustrating when you first arrive. We also got in at night, so it was a little challenging, but now, once we're out, you have feet on the ground. It's our first day here, and already our moods have changed. This place is beautiful. Everybody has challenges when they're traveling. Don't let it get you down, because it's going to be worth it in the end. Next up, we decided to try the transit system once again. This time we needed to get across the city, and we thought, how hard could it possibly be? Well, you remember what I said in the last scene? Now I take everything back. That was incredibly difficult. There was a lot to figure out. We bought tickets to connect. So there was a connecting station about 3 stops away from our previous station. And then we went there and we tried to connect, and our tickets wouldn't work, and no one could explain why. Again, there's not always English, so it makes it a little challenging. But this is something that people don't talk about in Japan. Maybe it's just in Osaka, but so far we've been finding the train system here and a challenge, guys. That's putting it lightly. Hopes are still high. We're still having a good time, but oh my goodness, is it ever hard to get around this city. We always just hit roadblocks after roadblocks after roadblocks.
And just to clarify that, we have used a lot of different transit systems throughout the world. Most of them usually end up being relatively easy. This one, definitely the hardest one I've ever encountered anywhere in the world, and that's saying a lot. It's just so weird because there's all these different lines and things, and it's like none of them work together. They're all separate. So we went to a machine, we bought a ticket, we said where we wanted to go, but it wouldn't let us transfer, so we had to go buy a new ticket. It was so weird.
Honestly, guys, I think we just got spoiled by being in Bangkok for so long. In Bangkok, the system was much more easy to figure out. It's not a knock on Japan. I just want everyone that watches us that expect when they get to Japan that this train system is going to be simple, like it's all streamlined and organized.
You hear how it's like they have the best train systems in the entire world here. Well, they must work really well and on time, but to use them, it's really complicated.
I think really what it is they work really well for people that know how to use them. If you're first-time tourist coming in, get ready for a challenge.
But we did just buy this card. Hopefully this little guy is going to fix our problems. It's called a Coca card, I think it is. It's like a tap on, tap off type thing, and you can top it up. So we're hoping that it just works for everything as long as we keep it topped up, hopefully.
We are in another part of town now, another part of the city. It's called Dotonbori. Now, forgive our pronunciation because we're not quite sure how to pronounce some of this stuff, but it's really cool. Look at this way, you can see like a canal.
So this is an area that gets really, really popular, I think, at nighttime. Like all the lights come out. You might maybe have seen pictures of it before because I think it's pretty famous. I think it's also really well known for nightlife as well. But if you're learning a little bit more about Osaka, it is actually the third biggest city here in Japan. It's about 2.7 million people. Next up, we have come into a little restaurant to try one of Japan's most famous drinks. This is called a highball. You may have tried one before because you can get them all over the world. But basically, I think they're typically made of some sort of whiskey and then a carbonated drink, usually sometimes ginger ale and sometimes just soda water. This one is a homemade apple highball. Curious what it's going to taste like. I'm not a big whiskey girl, so.
No, you're definitely not, but let's see.
Okay, that's interesting. If you like whiskey, you're gonna like this. So it has a little bit of a whiskey flavor, a little bit of carbonation, and slight apple, almost like they added in some apple cider. I first thought it was gonna be apple cider, but then you get a strong, strong whiskey flavor. So not my go-to. I could drink it, but a little too whiskey for me. I think this guy's gonna like it.
I'm definitely the whiskey person in this relationship. I happen to love bourbon and I like whiskey just on the rock. So I'm really excited to try this out. See, I'm gonna like this. I like the thought behind it. Half whiskey, maybe half. I guess you can kind of pick your amount. And half like soda water. So you're like hydrating and dehydrating at the same time. So yeah. Throughout our time here in Japan, I'm gonna have many a highball. Trust me, many of these guys. All right, we also ordered some gyoza to try, and gyoza just so happens to be some of our favorite Japanese food outside of Japan. We of course have had it in our own country of Canada. Now, this is like a pork gyoza. I think there's some ginger in there, a whole bunch of different flavors. They said to try it with the with salt, which we certainly have never done before. So let's just go for it. Listen, you can hear in the background like they're frying up other gyoza. Oh, that is so good. So these little guys are pan fried, and you can see the ginger and the pork. The cabbage is there as well. You guys, this is full of flavor. It just hits you straight across the face, honestly, your very first bite. It's worth coming to this place alone. And this is our very first taste of Japanese food here in Japan. And I think one of these videos coming up, probably the next one, don't hold us to it, is going to be a full-on food video, eating Japanese food. We thought it would be a great time to show you guys where we are staying. We're back at our hotel, and there's this awesome lobby here. It's a very big space because the place we're in right now, well, it's our room, and this is very, very small. This will make sense in a second. Okay, here we go. This is the bathroom area. It's actually pretty nice. You can see the mirror there, and the shower might be one of the biggest spaces. So you might be thinking, well, that's not so bad, is it? That's not so bad. Well, we're in Japan. It's known to have small accommodations. Let's say that. Small hotel rooms, small apartment rooms.
This might be our quickest hotel room tour ever because this place is so small. It also is going to look super messy because it is so tiny that all our stuff is in a small space.
I think the camera is going to make it look bigger than it is.
Okay.
I'd say this is about 7 feet across.
Something like that. So this is considered a small double bed. I think in like North America we'd maybe call this a full or a double bed. Maybe slightly smaller than that, I'm not sure. And over here we have a fridge, and this is like our editing suite right here.
Yeah, we have the computer, and now if we change places, because it's tight space here, we'll do this. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Then we have, you can see here, so our luggage is at the end.
Yeah, there was really nowhere to put luggage. There's hardly even, I wouldn't even call it a closet. So we have our luggage kind of at the end of the bed. Trevor sleeps on the inside, so he's got to crawl over me at night. That's fun. But there is a nice big TV. I'd say it's cozy and comfortable in here.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the place we're staying at. If you're coming to Japan or this part of Asia specifically, it's known to have small rooms. Everywhere's like this.
Wait, Trevor forgot. The most maybe important thing is the toilet. Oh yeah, the toilet, I don't know if we've ever had a room tour where we had to specifically talk about this, but also in Korea, here in Japan, the toilets are top notch, and I'm not even kidding. They're the best. So heated toilet seat, oh yeah. And then you have like a full panel over here that does all sorts of things. So there is a built-in bidet. You don't have to go to another bidet like in, a whole separate thing like in Italy. It's right in the toilet, rear and front. You basically control the whole thing, and it's honestly awesome.
All right, it's time to try to wrap up the day. What a day of many different emotions and many different things. I think I'd have it no other way coming into Japan for the first time. Remember, this was like day one, feet on the ground here in Osaka, and yeah, it did not disappoint.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever had such a wide range of feelings in a first impressions video. It was like, I felt like this throughout the entire video.
Yeah, it was
the entire day.
We started off. It started off so tranquil, and it was great. And we didn't even expect that. We actually thought we'd be like in this crazy city, and everything would be intense. And we quickly realized, like, no, this is Japan. They like to be reserved and relaxed, but they choose when to be a little bit hectic and crazy. And I think sometimes that's on the metro systems. That's what we struggled with, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Not even struggle. It was so, I don't even have words, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. The thing is with our channel is that we always want to be honest, and we know we're not just making videos about our lives or our own experiences. No. We know that so many people watch our videos trying to plan for themselves, and so many people comment saying they've planned their videos around, or planned their trips around our videos. So we want to be as honest and give as much information as possible, and that's why we are a little bit more critical than some people might be.
Yeah, we watched quite a few Japan videos before coming here. No one mentioned how sometimes English can be a real challenge, and again, that's okay.
I don't think anybody mentioned like the airport English and
subway.
Getting around the subways.
Yeah, and for us, this is what we're trying to get across. We travel a lot, and we're used to all of that, and we don't ever expect English. Before you leave a comment, we don't ever expect English. However, coming to Japan, we actually thought, because it's Japan, and a lot of people come here for the first time when they come from our part of the world, from Canada or from the USA, and come to Japan, that it's a great entry point and a great first step, and they would expect some English and stuff. Well, spoiler alert, there's not as much as you think, at least here where we're at in Osaka, and that's okay. It's just our expectations. It was very different than what we thought.
Exactly, yeah. And if you know going into a country that just to expect the unexpected, it's a little bit different. But I would say that coming in is don't expect things to be exactly as they are at home. Of course not.
No.
But don't expect it to be easy.
Yeah, so moral of the story, we said this earlier, just roll with it. Yeah. We figured it out at the end of the day, but we did have some challenging times, and it was awesome. And here's the thing, the last scene that you saw us eating, we did go out, we had some craft beer, we love craft beer. We did go get some delicious ramen.
Some of the best ramen ever.
And you're probably like, why didn't you film that? Well, that will be coming up in the next video. Not what we just did, but we're going to be, spoiler alert, next video is all about Japanese food. If you're new around here and you don't know, we do make food videos all the time. If you're not new, you guys know the drill. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This day did not spoil our impressions of Japan at all. Instead, honestly, now I can't wait to see more, because now I feel like we got a feel for it, right?
Exactly, and I like when things are challenging too. It makes you dig in a little deeper and have to think harder, and I think in the end you end up liking a place more when you have to work for it.
Oh, totally. And you know what? Here's the thing. Anytime we were stuck today, we just asked some Japanese people how to get somewhere, and they came through.
Right. I don't think we mentioned that earlier, but it's hard to find help when you're confused, but when you do find help, they go so out of the way. We literally had people walk us through the subway station to try to help us out. They were so nice.
So, we're rambling on, but we want to get this point across to all you guys that follow us everywhere in the world, and all you new people tuning in from Japan. Thank you. We love your country. This was just day one, and we're learning. We're learning how to battle
the ropes.
I know. If you're new, it's Trevor and Anna, delightful travelers. Hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Hit like. That really helps us out. If you're not new, we can't even stress how much we love that each of you guys come back every week and watch us. We wouldn't be here if you didn't do that. This channel would not exist. We just have to say that, but we have lots more of Japan to see.
I know, it's day one of about 10. We're gonna film probably every day here, or pretty much every day, so we're so excited. And there's gonna be so much fun stuff.
All right, more coming up in the next video.
All right, guys, that's it.
From Osaka, wishing you delightful travels.
See you soon.